The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to the raw and uncensored Ambitchious podcast. I'm your host, the original HBIC, Katie Boyd. During our time here together, I will be instilling all of the strength, power, and determination you will need to use the very stones thrown at you to build your ultimate empire. We will redefine the word bitch from the derogatory to the acronym being in total control of herself. So let's adjust our crowns and prepare to live life ambitiously. Yeah, here I am, the original HBIC Katie motherfucking Boyd. Yeah. And over here is the bald wonder, Matthew Martin Babine.
Yes.
He's still here.
Wonder.
He never goes away.
Never go away.
And my special guest today is Julie Costa. We've been friends for a really long time, but we've never met in real life.
We've been like the Instagram friends.
I hate when that happens.
I hate when that happens.
I want to be
too.
your real friend.
I do too. And that's why I was like, I need to be here.
Well, here we
need
are.
to meet.
Now we're best friends.
We're here.
Fist bump it up. She is the owner of The Sweat Republic, and she is going to tell us all about her ambitiousness.
Yeah.
And she's been following my movement for about a year or so.
Yeah.
When did it start? Do you remember?
God,
When were you like, this girl's crazy, I want to know her?
Ooh, what I love most is like authenticity and like the raw.
Yeah.
And so you don't find that very often.
I'm extremely
I think
raw.
in social media
I'm
because
like sashimi.
You are. No, and I love it.
Shimmy.
But I think everybody tries to be like perfect or make everything look picture perfect. And I love that you don't
Thank you.
care.
No.
So I was very much drawn to that. You're like, no.
Mm-mm.
And then I think what we were just talking about earlier is like you're like watching you evolve into
Yeah.
a lot of things that you were doing from like the training and then into personal development and leadership and Kripalu weekends.
Oh my
like it's
gosh.
been amazing to
Well,
watch.
because really that's what it's all about. It's not about, because we're going to talk about your story too, but you actually competed in fitness competitions.
Yeah, back
for
in the
like,
day.
When?
I did it for 7 years.
Whoa.
Oh, from like 2003, I want to say.
That's
to
like a lot of
2010.
work.
Yeah.
You know, no one realizes how much, because I did pageants, as you know, my whole
Yes.
entire life. And from like the time I came to the world until the time I was probably like 30, I was on like a full-blown diet.
Yes.
Like I was a baby and my mom was like weighing my food. I'm like,
It's the worst.
she's like, she has to have 6-pack for her Western wear.
For Western wear.
Oh, it was
I know,
bad.
we did theme wear too back in the day, but it's a
Gosh.
lot.
So tell us about the Sweat Republic.
Yeah, so the Sweat Republic, I had founded it back in 2014, and it was more a movement than a business. It was more because of my past job. I had worked for Lululemon for almost 10 years, and I was very immersed in the fitness industry here on the North Shore of Massachusetts, and I love supporting people, so you won't find me at the same studio. I will go to everybody's studio. I love supporting everybody, and it started as movement, and it was just a way to like bring people together.
Yes.
And then kind of, I'd say I had big hopes and dreams.
Right.
And then it just didn't go anywhere because I was so sucked of energy from my job.
Yeah.
That I just couldn't do anything. And so,
Why do you think that was though?
Yeah, that's
Well, you weren't ambitious, obviously, at that point.
No. And so
Because if you were ambitious, you would have been like, oh, bye job.
Peace
I'm leaving
out.
all this here.
Yeah.
I'm going to go get my drink on.
No, that happened. Coincidentally, I took a 6-week sabbatical last summer.
Did.
Yeah,
I love a good nervous breakdown.
Well, it
Those are
wasn't
my
really
favorite.
A nervous breakdown. Like it was planned.
Yeah. Sometimes
Because-
you can plan a nervous breakdown, though. I do a lot.
That's true.
I'm just like, okay, this is the week where I'm going to shit my pants and I'm not going to go to work for about 6 months.
Or you
I'm
just
gonna do
faint like
this
a
right now.
goat.
Oh,
Like a fainting goat. Katie just goes over.
Matt is obsessed with
It's all
fainting
over.
goats right now. Just let him be.
They have goat yoga.
Yeah, they
Really?
do.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Yes, I know goat yoga.
Maybe you
yes.
should
We should do.
I should
you guys
do that.
should do that.
I'll
We
stick
should
with
do
the
that.
fainting goats. I like them.
He likes to watch them on YouTube. So you had big hopes and dreams. You took a sabbatical.
Yeah, I took a 6-week sabbatical. And
What did you do during this time?
Nothing.
Oh.
Like it wasn't planned. It was August into September. I longed for the summertime, so I knew I wasn't going to travel. I was going to stay in New England. My boyfriend lives in Newburyport, so it's like perfect place to be in the summer.
So gorgeous.
I think I hit up 15 different beaches within those 6 weeks.
That's tough.
Yes.
amazing.
Tough work. Somebody's going to do
I
it.
know, right?
But you
Red,
probably never did that before.
never. And it was just time for myself. I read a lot of books, which I'm notorious for buying a lot of books, but reading like a quarter or like half, and then don't finish.
Yeah.
So I finished a lot of books, which is
Good.
great. And I took salsa lessons.
Love.
I did a lot of things for me.
But don't you think when you get quiet like that, that's when you get the inspiration? Because when you run around, and this is part of the ambitious movement too, when we all are running around trying to like make everybody happy and do everything for everybody and fill up everyone else's cups except of ourselves, God can't speak to you.
Yes.
The divine can't speak to you because you're not living in that high vibe place, because it's like time to make the donuts every day, going to the same job, doing the same things, talking about the same like shit. It just gets old.
It gets old. And I loved my job for a very, very long time. It just became my values didn't align anymore.
Yeah, happens.
Yeah, it was a company that preached work-life balance. And although there's a lot of choice and I take responsibility for some of it, there's a lot of demands when it comes to retail with the hustle and things that come up last minute and you have to work extra hours and if someone's sick and with the Sweat Republic, you can make your own hours. You can do what you want to do. Yes. Isn't that the beauty? That was the beauty. So I came back and we had a vision and goals night in my store. And I remember I looked to the woman next to me that I work with and I just said, hey, I'm bringing the Sweat Republic back. I was like, I don't know what capacity. I don't know what it looks like. I started like jotting down things. Like I started jotting down like membership and had a lot of real talk conversations with my manager at the time. Things weren't aligning. It was like a bittersweet part of ways. Yes. And beginning of the year, I no longer work there.
So crazy.
It's great. It was crazy. So I'd say I became ambitious literally this year. Literally this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It feels freaking great.
I love it.
I know. And so many people were so excited. They're like, you don't need a company to like stand behind you. You can do this on your own.
You are the company.
And I was like, thank you for the support. The support's been amazing. And I think I just, like we get afraid.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? Can I pay my bills? Can I do this?
Right.
And I think it was 4 months. We relaunched, we rebranded, I had a new website. It was a lot of messy action.
Yes.
Which is the best way to do it.
Yes.
You learn, you fall.
And you were probably really fearful at certain points.
Oh, so fearful.
But don't you think when you're afraid, like being ambitious is like being afraid but doing it anyway?
Yes, you have to do it anyway.
And when you're not afraid, you shouldn't be doing those things because everything that you do in your life should make you feel like a little uncomfortable because that's where the growth happens.
Yes, you have to be afraid. You have to take the steps. And I think it also helps that I had a great network and friends who would kind of like push me a little bit.
Yes.
And then be like, all right, you need to go to lunch and take out 10 instructors and start telling them.
Yes.
And that's kind of where it started. And so they became my like OG group.
Yes.
They're the best. And I'll bounce a lot of ideas off them. I had told them, and I'll never forget that lunch. I was so nervous to be like, so I'm no longer with Lululemon.
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing.
Drop that bomb.
And yeah, it became easier as I told people. And I think what really helped too is from my past experience, I know that it's easier to create things around things that are happening already.
Yes.
So International Women's Day was in March, and I was like, okay, we're going to host a really great luncheon celebrating women, health and fitness. Goal, 20 women.
I was not invited to that, by the way.
Well, it was out to the public.
Bullshit.
Yeah. And I'm really
No,
pissed.
I am Katie motherfucking Boyd. I want a personal invite.
Yeah? Okay, personal invite. Noted. Next time.
I'm just busting balls.
Noted.
Awesome.
But we had 100 women.
I saw it was so good. I was just kidding.
No, I know.
No, but it was awesome. I saw everything
beautiful.
on Instagram. I
like,
sat and I cried a little bit and ate some ice cream because I was so depressed I wasn't there.
Noted, Julie. Next time.
Julie, I'll get you. Don't leave me out. No, but I think that's amazing.
It was great.
And now it's just growing, right?
But now it's just growing.
But don't you think also it's so important as an ambitious woman to have women who are also peer groups?
Yes, you need them. And that's what the Sweat Republic's all about.
People don't understand. Like they're like, I just have these friends that I've been like clubbing with since 1994. No. I'm like, no, you can't do that. No. You need people that understand your big goals and dreams that are never gonna, hold you back from being the full expression of your grandest, highest self, right?
You need to have those conversations. Like, all right, what's a goal you're working on? All right, cool. Where do you need my support? And that is what the Sweat Republic's about. It's about
I want to tell our people what it's all about.
So, okay.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, so the Sweat Republic, I know it's evolved.
I haven't sweated since the Reagan administration.
I'm sweating right now.
Yeah, that's about it.
Oh my God,
exercising right as we
so
speak.
great. So it's more than like exercising. So we connect professionals in the beauty, fitness, health, and wellness industries through a membership program that we have and through events.
Love it.
So the membership program, and it's not the Sweat it had originated with fitness.
Yes.
And
now
that's
it's evolved.
kind of like our niche, and it's definitely evolved. So it's not just for people in those industries.
Right.
And it's about like putting the sweat back into building those relationships, connecting with each other and building the community.
Sweat equity.
Yeah.
Sweat equity.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about. So we have a membership program launched in May. And I remember my business coach I hired, she was like, so you're going to launch your membership tonight. And I was like, what? Like literally, it's been people pushing me.
That's a good coach.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And I was like,
awesome.
so we've been growing. And I think right now there's like 30 members.
That's awesome.
Which is awesome. And what we do is each month we have a monthly mixer. Tonight's actually July's. We have a monthly mixer. We host a monthly webinar. And then we do a lot of other stuff together. But that's primary what it is. And what we do is we create the space, or we're the platform for members to share their services with others. So
Awesome.
for example, tonight our mixer is at Tread. It's a fitness studio in Winchester. So they're a member, so they're hosting us. But then another member, it's so different. I'm so excited to see what this is. She's an intuitive expert, an intuitive advisor, and a love
this.
karma expert.
Yes.
So cool.
Very nice.
Yeah, it is.
So she's hosting a workshop called Business and Soul Magic.
Cool.
So she's a member, so she gets to then share her services. So then we all get to see what she does. And then same with the webinars. We just had one, hacking social media advertising to grow your business.
Yep.
Which was, my
great.
mind was kind of
blown.
I was like, wow, I need to be doing some of this.
Because
Great.
it's really technical.
It's
people
so
are just
technical.
like, they're like, I just post when the algorithms look good. I'm like, it's so much more than that,
so
dude.
much more. So it's really a space for people to come together. It's a platform for them to share. And then through that, there's collaborations, there's referrals, there's
I
connections.
love that you're also, this is so cool to me, and I know that people in the audience right now are like, oh my God, this is amazing, that you're going into the spiritual energy space, because so many people in the fitness industry, they don't do that.
Yeah.
And that has been one of my biggest crusades, is to say, I don't care how great of a six-pack you have, how you can bounce a quarter off your ass.
Doesn't
if
matter.
you are just all messed up on the inside and you're not working on your inside, because it's an inside job.
Yeah.
It does not matter.
Yeah.
Because you'll always revert back to the old patterns.
Always.
And this is, you're really cutting edge with this, because no one's, except me, no one is really doing the whole fitness, wellness
Yeah,
space and
you have
really
to.
bringing it to that like new age level where it's like, I wear crystals because I there's bad juju out there, and like I set my intentions in the morning and I meditate, and it's important, and we
It's
can
so
manifest
important.
the lives that we desire. You know, this is awesome.
Yeah, and I wasn't doing that. I feel like I was leading such a different life at Lululemon. I mean, I've always been 100% authentic, and people know I'm so honest to
Yes.
a fault, and I will raise my voice and say things maybe when I shouldn't.
It's the Portuguese in you.
And I talk with my hands a lot. If you
I
haven't
gotta
I
noticed,
was like, Julie Costa, are you Portuguese? She's like, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good.
but yeah, I've always been authentic, but there's been something. It's like Ambitchious. It's definitely happened this year where I always used to care about, especially from competing back in the day, like what I look like, and as women, I'm sure you can understand. Maybe as a guy too, is like I criticize my body pretty much
Did you
every
feel
day.
like when you got out of the competition space that you almost wanted to stay in competition shape because you didn't want people to say like, oh,
happened?
Julie's not competing anymore. Look what she let herself go.
Yep.
That was one of the things that I struggled with the most leaving the competition world. And then I was just like, you know what? The people are lucky to even breathe the oxygen that I'm breathing, like next to me, like. But you have to get to that place, right?
and it's hard
Because it will
to
eat
get
you
there.
up inside, and it will never allow you to fully be like
Yes.
everything that God put you here to be.
Yes.
If you're always caring about like, what do I look like? And people are judging me and like all this shit. It's like, if they're judging you, they're not your people.
And that's not even
So
you
agree.
anymore, right? So you
Right.
can really give a shit, but now you're doing stuff for other people. Not good.
No.
No, and
not
I
good.
remember I competed for so long, because I mean I really did enjoy the women that I was surrounded with, but then I was afraid of like who actually is Julie without competing. And then that's what happened with my prior job, because I was there for almost 10 years. I was like, well, who is Julie without
Yes.
Lululemon?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now I've been just more vocal about like my story and my past, a lot of what I'm doing, like the why, and I just am unapologetic about it.
Yeah, that's
And I
ambitious.
don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it feels
awesome.
good.
I love this. This makes me so happy because I went through the same exact thing as you. And it's like our businesses and our lives evolve. And I think what happens is people know you from like 1999 and they're like, why is she not 1999 Julie or 1999 Katie? It's like, dude, it's 2019.
We changed.
Like, what are you talking about? I
Yeah.
can't be doing the same thing.
No.
And it's just insanity if you try to stay in that box that people want to place you in because it's for their own happiness. It's not for your
Yes.
happiness.
Oh my God, so
Like when
great.
people say, "Oh, you changed," it's like, "Thank you." That's actually a compliment.
Yeah, for the better.
Yeah.
For the better.
But
I've
people don't
grown.
want you to change because that means that you might evolve past where they are.
Yes.
And then people don't like that.
Yeah.
And I just say, step the fuck up then and do your shit and try to catch me.
And it's so funny you said that because I think I shared a video with my members last week about the whole like community over competition. It's not to say that like we don't believe in competition, but it's like the right competition, like the
Right.
healthy, the like not stepping on people's toes.
But don't you think in the fitness industry, because I've been in it for over 20 years now, is other trainers and other gym owners and other people in the fitness space, they see the dominating person, and I'm using my quotation fingers, the dominating person in the space, and they all want to tear that one person down. And it's like, dude, just you build a higher skyscraper.
Yep.
Stop trying to pull that skyscraper
use
down.
them as motivation to get to where you need to be?
But why do you think that that's happening? Like, why do you think people do that?
That's
Instead
a
of like
great
saying
question.
like,
It's insecurity, and it's definitely insecurity because I've been watching from afar, and I hear the people that do say things. It's living in a scarcity mindset.
oh my God,
and
yes.
not an abundance mindset.
Yes.
And that's what it comes down to.
Yes.
And they're not creating, right?
No.
So they're competing instead of saying, okay, what do I need to create? Because there's enough for everybody.
There's
so
so
much.
much
So
to
much.
go around.
So much.
And if you just focus on your creation, like you obviously did with your company, then everything else is going to come.
Yes.
Right? But people
Yes.
get so caught up in the competition. And what's this
Right.
person doing? What's
Yeah.
that? You're taking your eye off the ball.
You gotta stay you gotta stay laser focused. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we're all human. Like I think I saw
Absolutely.
something and I was like, oh, they're doing what? Because it was like kind of similar, but I was like, no, this is good. This is good. It's the message.
When
So,
people
like,
copy you, it's
yeah.
actually very flattering.
flattering.
It is.
It's
Because
so
I've had
flattering.
many trainers in the past, like I'll come out with a website and then 6 months later they come out with the same website and I'm like, okay, now I'll get on the phone with my
Evolve.
webmaster. Change my website right now. I'm going to
Or-
paint me on a unicorn. No one's going to have that.
I know. Like, that's amazing, by the
And
way.
you know where that came from?
No.
Because so many people in my space kept like copying my websites. So I was just like, I'm going to make my website so intricate and so ridiculous that no one can
do
have
it.
it. So I actually hired a woman who's the head cinematographer. She paints on Game of Thrones.
Stop.
So she's the one that actually did that picture. So she took all these pictures of me and actually painted me on this unicorn. So it's like a one-of-a-kind piece of art.
Have you guys seen that on her website?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my, it's amazing.
What do you mean seen on my website?
Okay,
I have a
check.
picture of it over me.
you don't.
Oh, I'm a sick fuck. When you come into my office at Katie Boyd's Fit Club, there's like a life-size picture of me on the unicorn, and I just
amazing.
sit in front of it like this, and I do my one-on-one. I don't give a fuck. I'm like, take it all in. This is the real me. This is also the real me.
That's amazing.
It's a little narcissistic, but you know,
I love it. I love it.
We have to be to a point. You have to just be, like you said, unapologetic.
Yes.
Like, I'm on a unicorn right
me.
now. Like, deal with it, you know? But this is what would happen. And I'm just saying to myself, like, why are you watching my shit? Just be you.
Yes.
Like, I know a lot of people, when I was training all the pageant girls, they wanted to get into that pageant space. And I'm like, do you know that there's literally no money involved in this?
Same with competing. It's
There's
like, why?
no money involved in competing. There's no money involved in the pageant world. These girls, everyone, well, I'm not going to say everyone because there's a lot of amazing clients that I still have to this day, but a lot of these girls in the modeling, fitness, and the fitness competition space, they think that they're like Kim Kardashian. Like, oh, you should train me for free because I'm going to post about you once a week on Facebook. I'm like, girl, I don't need that.
No.
Just give me my money.
Well, how about the people that want to open gyms and I'm going to be just like Katie Boyd and I'm like, good luck.
You know how much work
Little,
that is?
little do they
It's a
know
lot of
how
work.
hard it is to start a business.
It's so
and
hard.
most people can't do it. I mean, they just don't want to put in that much work. It's
And they
a lot
see the
of work.
glam.
Yes.
They see like Katie Boyd's life, like the glam. And they
Yes.
see your life and they're like, oh, look at Julie.
great.
Look at she's like living her best life. And they don't realize how much work and sweat in
Sweat.
public goes into
The
like
back
being
end, yeah.
this and to be the 1% in an industry. Like it's never ends.
So Katie just
hard.
goes, good luck with that.
Oh my God, I used to take it so
luck
personal.
to you.
I used
Good
to
luck.
take it so personal. I'd be like, I would say to Matt, who does she think she is? And all this shit. And now I'm like, oh, bless your little heart. You don't know what you're in for. It's like one enema after another enema after another enema every
One
day.
check after another.
Oh my
And
God.
it's the roller coaster. So without even like a space, like a gym, my God, the roller coaster of like, yes, I'm doing great. I suck at life. That was pretty cool. What am I doing?
It's
never
so true.
ending.
Well, because people think that success is always going up this like
Oh,
slow. It's like,
God.
no.
It's like tangled and
No.
knotted.
Oh my God. At least twice a week I look at Matt and go, what am I even doing with my life?
Yeah.
And Matt's like, calm the fuck down. You're fine.
I'll do that tonight. I know I will. Before our mixer tonight, I'll go in and be like, oh, is this a good idea? And then I'll leave and I'll have the best time with everybody. And I'll be
She's
like,
just
awesome.
like me.
and I'll be like, good job.
That's so
Yeah.
true. What advice do you have for women out there that feel like the same, that they've been struggling with certain things like you have? What advice do you have for them now that you're super ambitious?
I think my biggest advice, and I always say it now, is just take messy action.
Ooh,
Nothing
I love this.
has to be
I like that
perfect.
a
And
lot.
people told me that a lot, and I didn't want to listen because I love everything to be perfect. Like, let's face
Don't
it,
we
like,
all?
you know, we want to tie it up in a pretty bow. But you have to take messy action. It's not going to be perfect. There's never a right time. Just do it.
It's
I
so
love
true.
that. I mean,
Yeah, you
because
just
it
have to
gives
do
you
it.
permission to be like, oh, it's okay.
It's okay.
It doesn't have to just let it go. If it's
Yeah.
messy, but most
And it
people
might be
won't take the
something
action.
greater, like, than you had
100%,
even
right?
imagined.
Yeah. And I think if you just trust that the universe always has your back, like when your coach said to you, hey, we're launching this tonight, and you like shared a purple Twinkie.
I was like, what?
You're like, no, it's not ready. Weren't you like,
Oh.
it's not ready. It's
There was
not
no plan.
perfect. It's
There's no plan.
stop.
No. I mean, there was like some structure, but in terms of like how it was then going to progress if people had signed up.
What if you had like 2 million people sign up? Because this happens.
Yeah. Well, and surprisingly too, we had launched, I was also like, okay, we're launching before the summer. It's the slowest time of year. But I mean, for only launching 2 months and having like up to 30, it's pretty,
That's amazing.
yeah, I'm pretty proud of that. So
Should be. That's awesome.
yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. And I think it's just being, I just be me and share what,
Well,
like
that's
what
the
we're
thing
doing.
too, is like I always talk about, because I teach a business mastermind and I take on like 10 people every quarter.
that.
And I always tell people like, you have to just like launch shit messy.
Do
But
it.
I say it in this way: progress, not perfection.
Yes.
Like, because people are like, it
Yes.
has to be perfect. Like, you know, and all my masterminders will send me stuff like, here's my ideal perfect day. Because I tell them this is like their homework. Here's my this, here's my that. And they'll say like, please don't judge me because it's not perfect. It's not up to your standards. I was like, I think this is amazing.
great.
Like that
It's
you even
great.
took the time to do it, because most people blow that shit off.
Yep.
They say, I want to be in a mastermind. I want to do all these
You just
things.
got to do it.
You have to do it. And you have to just put it out there.
Mm.
Because like Matt and I have this conversation all the time, because he's like, you're such a psychopath. Just do it, Katie. And I'm like, but there could be some spelling errors. And he's like, dude, seriously, if people care about a spelling error, they're not your
They're
ideal
not your
people.
Yeah, they're not your peeps.
It's the idea that
Yeah.
you're trying to convey to how people's lives. If there's a spelling error, who cares?
100%.
Doesn't matter.
you know.
Yeah.
And if
we're
you're-
human.
Yeah,
100%.
Human.
And if you're putting yourself out there on social media and you're not being 100% yourself, you're going to attract people that aren't on your vibrational frequency.
Yes.
And I see this all the time with my masterminders, just friends of mine. They don't follow that. And then what happens is they'll come to me and say, oh my God, all these people signed up and they're fucking pains in the asses. I'm like, yeah, because you're not being who you truly are. You're not vibrating at the frequency that you're supposed to be vibrating
Yes.
at. And then you're attracting people who are not your ideal people.
Yes,
whether,
so true.
Whether it's relationships, friends, I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to just be about business. But we have to really put ourselves out there and say, like my grandmother always said, there's a seat for every ass. So just because your seat doesn't fit someone else's ass doesn't mean
Yes.
someone else isn't going to come and want to sit on you.
I love that.
That was a little sexual, right? Oh my
love
God.
that.
Thank
That's
you
so
so much
good.
for joining us. Where can
Thanks
people
so
find you?
much. So you guys can find me at my website is Julie, M as in Mary, Costa.com, and everything Sweat Republic is on there, what we're about, the membership, how to join. And then there's also a link to, we have a larger Facebook group of almost 1,000 members on the
awesome.
North Shore locally.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's just a great free community space for people to network, because that's my jam, is connecting
And you're
people
also on Facebook
collaborating.
and Instagram?
Yep, Instagram, The Sweat Republic, Facebook, The Sweat Republic.
Yes. Good that you're
Just
keeping
look at the
everything
Sweat
cohesive.
Republic.
Just Google
What's the
Sweat
name of your
Republic.
Except for the website. It's
I didn't
Julie
get
M.
that
Costa,
name.
Sweat
but the
Republic.
Sweat Republic.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. This
I
was like
love
a
it.
pleasure. And I
Thank you
can't wait
so
for
much.
collaborations down the
Yes,
future. It's going to be
they're
exciting.
coming. They're coming.
Awesome. Great job.
Good job.
Thank you, everybody, for being crusaders of this ambitious movement. And like I always say, see you next Tuesday.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.